Everyone was asking the same question in the community: who killed Malcolm? The question is still hanging. On February 26th, a Friday, Norman 3X Butler was arrested and charged with Malcolm's murder. Thomas 15X Johnson would be arrested the next week, March 3rd. Both were connected with the black Muslims. Both were not arrested at the scene of the crime. The only man who police did arrest at the scene was in fact caught by Malcolm's followers, who grabbed Thomas Hagan, also known as Talmadge Hayer, and nearly beat him to death out in the street in front of the Audubon Ballroom. It was then that police stepped in and took Hagan into custody. All three were convicted and sentenced to life on April 15, 1966. They would be eligible for parole only after serving a minimum of 26 years, 8 months. But to this day, many ask, where were the police that day Malcolm was killed? And this reporter joins in that question. Why was he guarded so loosely when police knew full well, as everybody knew, that Malcolm's life was in great danger? Malcolm himself had repeatedly told police that his life was in jeopardy. Malcolm also had doubts toward the end that the Muslims were stalking him. In fact, this reporter has been told by at least 2 people close to Malcolm that Malcolm told them that the Central Intelligence Agency would kill him. The CIA was indeed very closely watching Malcolm. Of special concern was his effectiveness in Africa. He had submitted an 8-page memorandum to a meeting of the heads of 33 African nations calling for their support in his pending move to take America before the United Nations for violating the Afro-Americans' human rights. In view of America's heavy economic interests in Africa, there can be no doubt that such a move, successful or not, would have been most embarrassing to this country and would have certainly injured the huge investments of countless American big businesses in Africa. And what of Malcolm's talks with King Faisal, the czar of the world's oil supply? How much influence did Malcolm's words have on what is happening today? In the interest of justice and truth, the following questions must be answered. Why was Malcolm almost fatally poisoned while he was in Africa? And who did it? Why was Malcolm forbidden entry to France? And what American influence was behind that? Who bombed Malcolm's house? And why has no one been caught? Why were police so lax, almost casual, in their actions that fateful day at the Audubon Ballroom? Eyewitnesses to the murder say that there were more than 3 assailants. Why haven't they been sought or caught? And who burned the mosque? Why hasn't anyone been caught for that deed?